Because I don't believe in the supernatural. There's a few different reasons. So first of all, I don't believe in the supernatural.
You don't believe in the supernatural. Are you
Right.
certain the supernatural doesn't exist?
Not 100%.
Okay, so why are you making the assertion that it doesn't happen?
Because there could, so this is the other part of it, there could never be a justification for it.
Also, Jamal, we are asserting we don't believe in it because we don't see evidence for it, not that it can't happen as a matter of principle.
Well, I've seen evidence of it. I've actually experienced it
Well,
firsthand.
just because you think it's evidence doesn't mean it's evidence.
So so I don't really like anecdotal stories. But if we would just take whatever the story is and dissect it, and what I would say is, I would just keep asking, how do you know that's what it was? You would
Well,
just say, because I believe it, or or typically what people say is, I just know, but that's not an actual answer.
I see. So, do you
Davison
believe
just hit the dab.
abiogenesis occurred?
Yes.
And that's not a miracle to you?
No,
No.
because it's a naturalistic mechanism. How are you
Okay, so
laughing? Abiogenesis is the idea that life naturally arose on Earth. It can't be a
naturally,
miracle.
naturally. Okay.
Yes, naturally.
Did
Therefore,
you
it can't
observe
be a
this
miracle.
naturally happening? Did you ever observe this naturally happening? Of course not. So how do you know it naturally happened?
I didn't
You're
say
making an
I know it
assumption.
naturally happened. I'm telling you what I believe in.
Oh, okay. So you have faith in this.
Nope.
Oh my
No, because it's
god.
belief based on the
You
actual
have,
Did
you have
you
evidence.
faith.
Point.
did you
You
listen
have
to
faith. You have faith.
when did you get here? Cuz we had this conversation already.
I, I just got
Jamal, your ignorance of science is not our
Jamal,
problem.
when did you get here? Cuz we had this conversation I had this conversation with the previous guest already. When did you get here?
like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so understandable. Nothing that we know about the way life works requires miracles. Everything that you do, everything that allows your body to exist, is your body just doing simple physical chemistry at the cellular level.
No,
No miracle required. Now we
that's
know that that's how life works. So the idea that chemical systems interacting together could have formed the first living thing is based on
mhm,
evidence, right? It's a very
mhm,
low resolution answer. I can't tell you where it happened. Well, I could
mhm,
say Earth, but that's low resolution. I can't tell you exactly when it happened. I can't tell you what the
mhm,
genome of the first living thing was. All I'm telling you, it's like when people a long time ago were like, look, the earth goes around the sun, not the other way around. It's fucking stupid to think the other way around. And then they ask them, how? Well, before we had any ideas about
yeah.
general relativity or gravity or anything, we didn't have any good explanations. So that, but would you have said to any of those people, then you believe it just on faith, right? No, it was based on evidence.
Yeah. So you believe life somehow miraculously came
No,
into
not
existence?
miraculously.
Holy shit!
Take
How
that
many
word.
times you say that?
Get rid of that word.
No,
There's
it
no
was
miracle here.
It was miraculous.
I don't think Earth miraculously goes around the sun. It's gravity. Now,
Well,
400 years ago,
we're talking about life here.
400 years ago, we didn't have a scientific explanation of
So,
how Earth goes around the
so,
sun. But to say, oh, so you think it miraculously goes around the sun would have been
oh my
so
goodness.
stupid.
Please let me talk here. So listen, you believe that life came into existence somehow, right? Yet
Naturally.
scientists can't even create life from scratch in the lab.
That is
What?
correct. We also cannot create solar systems.
So,
Therefore, is the fact
so
that Earth goes
how
around the sun a
come?
miracle? We
So,
can't create solar
so, wh-
systems,
so
Jamal.
how is it
Is
that
Earth
you can
going around the sun a
believe?
miracle?
Wait, let me ask you a question. How can you
Okay.
believe that life could come into existence without any kind of intelligent input, but
The evidence.
scientists can't even create life from scratch?
We
So
can't
dumb.
create solar systems. So why do you think that gravity is what makes Earth go around the sun when we can't even create solar systems?
Well, I believe that the solar system was created by God as well, but I'm talking about life. Let's
What
let's
makes Earth go
keep it
around the sun?
let's
Gravity
keep it let's keep it
or
one.
John chapter 3 verse 28?
Yeah, and who created the laws of physics, right? Who's behind all that?
Not your
Spanky.
society.
God. Who,
That's
Spanky.
just a claim, Jamal.
Yeah.
who,
So Jamal, you're adding things. We're going into just
no,
what
I'm trying to
makes
keep it
Earth
to the
go
realm of
around the
life.
sun.
I'm trying to stick
Jamal,
to the realm of life, and you're
what
talking about
makes Earth go around the sun?
uh, well, it's gravity, but who
Is
created
gravity a
the
miracle?
laws of physics? I
Is
think the
gravity a miracle?
I think the cosmic constants that are finely tuned. I think that's
I didn't
pretty.
ask you about those. Is gravity a miracle?
Is gravity, in a sense, yeah. I believe like everything that exists is a miracle because God created it. Unless you're going to
Uh,
believe that that
Then
universe created
therefore the
itself.
devil is a miracle.
You don't believe the universe created itself? Is that what you believe?
I don't have beliefs about how the universe got
Yeah.
created.
So
All
so
I'm asking you is
you don't have
gravity
an
a
explanation.
miracle?
You don't have an explanation for why anything
Jamal, you don't
exists.
have an
As a matter
explanation.
of
You're the
fact,
top in
I
this
matter of
life.
I
fact,
have explanations for all kinds of things, just not
as
where
a
the
matter of fact,
universe came from. And you don't have an
actually,
explanation for where your God came from. But the only
God
question
always
I'm actually trying to ask you is gravity a miracle?
is gravity a miracle? In a sense, yes. Is
Okay,
life
so
a miracle?
here's where
Okay,
you're going to
what is
disagree
life?
with this. Okay,
Oh
can
my
I can I
goodness.
please do this? Can we use so I take it you believe Jesus walked on water.
Yes.
Okay. Can we use science to describe how Jesus did that?
Uh, maybe in the future come across we'll discover
But
something
isn't
that will.
God above the laws of physics and science?
I mean, isn't science always progressing? So I can't give you an absolute answer on this.
If it can be explained by science, then it's not a miracle. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Is that in the definition of what a
Ugh.
miracle is? That
Yes, if it's a
can't be explained
supernatural,
scientifically?
unexplainable event, it cannot be explained by science.
I mean, if it's unexplainable, then okay, then sure, you can't.
But
Then
miracles by definition are supernatural events. Jesus didn't walk on water by being less dense than water.
but I
Jesus
think
did it because it was a miracle. There's no way to scientifically describe what happened.
okay, but there are phenomena in the world that we cannot scientifically
Right.
explain, but we know it exists,
Doesn't
right?
mean God did
Well,
anything.
but okay, so we can get to that in a second. So anyways, to me, and I think you would agree if you're being honest, no miracle can be scientifically explained because you'd have to like
Well,
it just
I
can't
disagree with
because
you.
it's the violation of natural law, not
I
the application of different kinds of natural law. So
I
therefore, because gravity is explainable with equations, there's no miracle there. There's no miracle taking place at all for Earth
okay,
orbiting the
but
sun.
life coming from non-life, right? That's
Nothing about
super.
life is
That
miraculous.
would be a
Nothing.
miracle.
The
That would be a
metabolism of
miracle.
glucose in the
I'm
inner
talking about, I'm
cristae
talking about
membrane of the
life
mitochondria,
coming.
that's not a miracle,
Oh my goodness!
Jamal.
Listen, bro. I
The
can quote
transcription
to
of the
you.
DNA code, it's not a miracle.
Okay,
It's literally
I can quote to you.
DNA helicase, DNA polymerase,
No,
some other stuff.
I
Simon
can
would be
quote.
better at naming molecules for this than me. It's
Peterson.
all
You believe
explainable
that?
by science, which means it's not a
I think I'm
miracle.
gonna.
Yeah. So life, the existence of life, is in itself a miracle, right? Scientists will tell
But
you
it's
that.
not.
Okay, so scientists. I'm sorry, but scientists disagree with you. They will say that they.
No, they do. No.
No.
No,
They have stated that the chances. Oh my goodness, you're just trolling.
Sorry, I'm.
Jamal,
Yeah.
when does something become alive? What is the minimal amount of things going on in a cell that would make it qualify as living?
Oh yeah, you called me a liar earlier. That was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Talk to Simon. I'm gonna get some more water.
Uh,
I'll be right back.
I don't know, but they measured. I forgot the name of the type of life. It was like I think it was like a bacteria cell that had like the minimum nucleotides of DNA, and I think it was like very little compared to like other forms of life. And
Sure, like plasmodiums are like the smallest forms of life that we have. But what about the biochemistry makes something alive? What is the critical biochemistry that must be going on for something to be alive?
yeah, so it has to like respond to like stimuli. It has to reproduce, and there's like other criteria to make it um, to meet that standard of like what is life. I just can't
Right.
remember
So
right
things
now.
going on in a cell, biochemistry happening in a cell, matter behaving according to principles that it behaves by, produce an emergent property that we call life.
Sure.
Chemistry, matter moving around in specific ways, produces what we call life.
Okay.
That's not a miracle.
The iron in your blood, is that living or non-living?
Is iron in my blood living? It's non-living.
Are we doing life from non-life or miracles?
Like, so I don't even know where you're going with. Like, bro, can you just like land the plane? Like, let's get to the point.
What I'm trying to say is the components, the constituent pieces of life are simply molecules. We are talking about chemistry. We're talking about inorganic chemistry. We're talking about organic chemistry. We're talking about biochemistry. We're talking about molecules interacting in the ways that they can, producing what we call life. We can reduce and understand life at its components, and at some level, we say that it produces what we call life. But none of those individual pieces are living. The iron in your blood is not living. The lipid membranes around your cells are not living. The RNA in your cells, the DNA in your cells are not individually, in and of themselves, alive.
I know that. So what is your point?
My point is, then, if we want to talk about the emergence of life, we need to shift the conversation to how can inorganic molecules arrange themselves to produce the emergent property that we call life. And at that point in time, we're talking about chemistry. That is what we're talking about. We're not talking about some miraculous ethereal force that swept over the earth. We're just talking about organic chemistry.
It's very miraculous. As a matter of fact, I will say that life points to an intelligent designer.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, because
No, it doesn't.
it contains genetic information, and all information that we know of comes from a mind, right? Nature does not produce information. It does not produce languages, right? It only comes from an intelligent mind.
But we see
in the
components
future
of RNA and DNA being produced
in the
nature.
future. Do you think that humans will have the technology to change our DNA?
Perhaps.
In the future, if we have the technology to change our DNA, do you think we will change our DNA and then produce better outcomes for our species?
That doesn't like refute my point. Right?
Yes,
because
no.
It would make us more intelligent of designers than the omniscient intelligent designer.
No, that's ridiculous.
Oh my God! How are you laughing now?
You have to be trolling right now.
Trolling? Oh my God! Here, this is an analogy to your argument. Well, of course God has to exist because God has created giant mountains of dog feces. Well, what if we took these giant mountains of dog feces and got rid of them so that there wouldn't be so many diseases and gross smells and stuff like that? Oh, you're trolling, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was such a horrible argument, bro. Like what?
No, it wasn't really.
My analogy that was completely off the cuff. But if we can change our DNA and make it better, then we're better designers than the intelligent designer.
No, that just proves
Yeah.
that. Well, that just proves my point. That just
It doesn't,
wait,
really.
hang on.
You're just backed into a corner now, Jamal. That's
No,
all
my
that's
goodness.
happening.
I bind those evil
Oh no,
spirits.
God has struck him down for his blaspheming.